Hey now, All-Stars! Sizzle the Clown here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back, if this is your back. If you're here the first time, welcome again. I am following in the steps of someone greater than me. April Bunnell is a balloon twister who mentioned on Balloon Twister Central that she wanted to do something nice for her community in these dark and damp times, and she's doing balloon drop-offs for the kids in her community. I thought that was a grand old idea. Put up a couple of posts in my local buy, sell, trade community groups, and got a couple of people who are like, yes, please, entertain my children from afar. That is necessary. I wasn't really prepared for this. And I'm happy to do that. So I'm going to put together a care package for 4 cute little girls who live just down the street from me. And I figured what better thing to give them than fairy wings. Fairy wings are my favorite balloon to give to a little girl who doesn't know what they want. And it's also kind of my favorite thing to run around in if I'm at a festival or something, because your girl's super tiny, can fill that niche super hard. I already made a really, really big one. My big design, and I have already made a super duper tiny one for someone super small. So you guys are going to come with me while I make the medium-sized design. We're going to talk about the difference between the three. So without further ado, here we go. Now, the basis of a fairy wing rig backpack is all built off of a certain, like the center point. You basically make 2 figure eights with a pinch twist in the middle of 2 pinch twists in the middle with 2 different balloons. So we have our pinch twist, and we lock it down so it won't come undone, and the balloon is going to be filled up almost all the way. If you can get just the teeniest, tiniest little thing left over, then that's perfect. That's a perfect amount of size. You just kind of pull it together and wrap it through till it stays. That's not really going to go anywhere, and you want 2 of those. If you're working with chrome like I am and you're just not super excited about how tight they're blowing up, give them a good stretch before you initially inflate them. They kind of need to flex a little bit, especially if they're cold, maybe just like a teeny tiny little bit of old. So here we go, our second loop. And then we're going to put those 2 pinch twists together right next to each other, and we're going to hug and go around in a circle. That's all you really need to do to connect them together, but one needs to be facing you, and one needs to be facing me. So we're going to bisect the figure 8 with a pinch twist on either side. Now, the small one is a figure 8 like this, and 1 260 that is just put into a figure 8 and wrapped into the middle. The big one is the same thing, only instead of the middle one being kind of flower petal woven into it, there's a extra step where you add 2 more 260s and wrap them through. This one is going to be kind of like the step in between that. So we're going to need 2 more circles, but we're not going to blow them up all of the way because we want the top to be just a little bit bigger than the bottom. It's a balance thing, and I'll show you what I mean. Oh, coronavirus. Don't put things in your mouth. That's a habit I'm gonna need to break. See how I left like just the littlest itty bittiest amount? It's about the length of my finger to the first knuckle, so I'll remember. I want to make it just ever so slightly not as big as the balloon I just made. And then we're going to tie those 2 things together. And you can do that in any old way, as long as both sides are tight together and there is no like super a lot of space in there. This is going to wrap into this, like this. So now you have this awkward little wibbly wobbly thing, right? It doesn't look like a pair of fairy wings yet, And that's fine, because this is a great way to start into the flower petal weave. If you want to see that, I'm pretty sure Unica 89, Cody Williams, has a good flower petal weave. I'm not gonna do that, so if you need to go figure that out, go talk to him. But for the most part, you're going to want to take the front balloon, pass it through the back balloon, so it's also in the back. It's a very subtle thing, but that's what it does. Okay. It kind of pushes one forward and pushes one back and evens them out, just a smidge. Now we're also going to shape the top into points. We're going to do that by kind of finding like, maybe like 2/3 on one side and 1/3 on the other, and turning that into a point by forcing all the air out and then letting it slowly go back in. If you wanted a little bit less like a straight angle, you could also spin it and do it. Honestly, it's a thing that you practice and get better at and figure out your favorite way of doing it. I think that makes them look particularly fairy-like. Now you could do a lot of different things. I've definitely put like small 6-petal flowers on here. I've done curly Q 160s that come up like antenna. I've done all sorts of things from this base design. And this is big enough to put on a large child like me, or a reasonable sized adult like everybody else I know, but it's not really appropriate for a super small child, which is why the small wings start out the same, but the bottom is much more tiny. See that? Seeing the difference in sizes there? Now, to put them on your back, I have definitely tied them onto backpacks before, and that allows people to carry them around without removing their backpack, which is great. But you can turn this whole design into a backpack just by blowing up a 160 and doing another figure 8 out of it. I'll show you how to do that right now. I really like that. That noise doesn't do anything for anyone except for me. It's like slapping a belt, except for way more joyful. Anyway, that's how you find the middle of things, by the way. Curious. And you just wrap that around that central point. Now, sometimes that pops. You could always add a flower or a ladybug to the middle of it, make it a little bit more fancy, like you made of it. Intentionally did it, but you didn't. So here you go. Your tiny little friend arms go through here, like this. And before you send them off to their adult, just like organize their wings so they're not cut on their anything behind them, so that their wings stand up kind of even to their shoulders. Now, this is a pretty cool way of dressing up children in a way that they don't actually have to carry around. And this is also something that is easily replaceable or fixable and makes a large visual impact for events that are outside, or like, I always tell parents that it's a really great way of like figuring out where your kid is in a crowd if you have a tiny little wanderer. I'm going to show you a close-up of the big wings just so you can see how I put those together. Basically, the pretty bronze stuff, I just measured out roughly what would be a mid-size between this circle and passed it through the bottom circle, and I fixed it with a pitch twist. Oops, gave them a good like Luna Moth bend in the bottom. The shoulders are the exact same. If you put this on an adult, it's possible that you're going to have to size them for that. And so I always tell them, I'm going to give them an awkward stranger hug and just blow up 2 160s and wrap them around their shoulders individually and cut them off at the end or leave them sticking up like antennas. Because you always need a bug with antennas. Anyway, it's been a good day. I hope those are useful points for you. I hope you enjoy these designs. If you do and you make one, I totally want to see your rendition of that. Absolutely build off the base model. Show me all the different things you do. If you come up with a really good bat wing, your girl's a spook and wants to see. So send me a message, put a picture in whatever link you find this on. I will hunt it down and I'll be like, dango, that is cool. Thank you so much for coming with me. I look forward to seeing y'all in the future, and have a great day.